The king in the north! The king in the north!
Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So I wanted to do the video on Wink Martindale and his coaching career. So let's just get into it. So Wink Martindale is the current defensive coordinator at Michigan. He follows Jesse Minter and Mike Macdonald, and they all came up together for the Baltimore Ravens. You know, with this new scheme. He's kind of the architect of it, and they all run the same kind of scheme, the 3-4 with the edge rushers, and you have your a lot of disguised blitzes, a lot of simulated pressures. It's very confusing for quarterbacks. But Wink Martindale got his defensive coordinator start in Denver Broncos. They had kind of average defenses with like the 18th. Then when he goes to Baltimore, they get this scheme together that they're currently running now with, you know, Jesse Minter and Mike Macdonald and Wink. They came up with that system, and he had pretty top defenses there until his last year, which kind of went down a little bit. Then he went to the Giants, and I think their best defense was like the 18th, so it was kind of average. You know, you could say it's talent or whatever, you know. That's neither here nor there right now. But, you know, he was planning on coming back, and this is what the report says. He was planning on going back to the Giants, but his his linebacker coach, what's the name? Brian Daboll, and Brian Daboll came with him from Baltimore. He's the outside linebacker coach. And Drew Wilkins, they came with him from Baltimore. They got fired by the Giants, and that left a bad taste in Wink's mouth, and he couldn't really get over it. So he was planning on resigning, even though they thought he was going to come back. But he was so mad about it, he just resigned, and they kind of parted ways. And that's how he ended up at Michigan. Now, I know there's a lot of talk about what Wink is going to do at Michigan, because he liked to blitz a lot in the NFL. You know, the thing that people have to understand about NFL and college, the NFL and college, well, let me say this. NFL quarterbacks and college quarterbacks are on two different parts of the spectrum. They're not even close, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Your average college quarterback, he can't read a defense and know how to look at these types of simulated pressures and things like that. The things that Michigan scheme with Wink, Jesse, and Mike does. So that's the big thing about people trying to compare. Oh, well, he blitzed a lot and they struggled in the NFL, his defenses. Well, he's coming to Michigan, who's got a loaded defenses, and it's college quarterbacks. He's already said he's not planning on blitzing that much unless he has to. The scheme isn't to blitz a lot. The scheme is to confuse the quarterback. Now, in the NFL, it's harder to confuse a quarterback. Some quarterbacks, you can't even blitz them. Like Mahomes, like you're just going to show a blitz and you're not going to blitz him. You're just trying to confuse him because he's that good. There aren't many college quarterbacks that are that good like some of these NFL quarterbacks. You don't have a Aaron Rodgers. You don't have a Patrick Mahomes. You don't have even a Dak Prescott. There's not many of these dudes out there. And even if they will be great in the NFL, that doesn't mean that they're that right now. You get what I'm saying? So the thing that's great about this scheme is it's just so confusing for these college quarterbacks. You saw how Michael Penix was so confused last year with what he was seeing. He didn't know exactly what he was seeing. He didn't understand it. Because and I said this before, to pick apart a defense, you have to understand what the defense is trying to do, what they're giving you, what they're trying to take away. If you don't understand that before you hike that ball, you're in trouble. And that's the problem that quarterbacks have had going against Michigan. They haven't really understood what they were looking at. So when the ball is hiked, a guy that they expected to be open isn't open, and now the timing is all off. That's why you see, man, Kyle McCord had a guy wide open. He had a wide open. I watched the breakdown with Zach, or I watched the breakdown, or I watched the replay. He had a guy wide open. He's horrible. No, he's not horrible. He's just confused about what he's seeing. You don't pick apart a defense unless you understand what you are seeing. That's why I've been trying to get people to understand that you had Michael Penix look just as bad as Kyle McCord. No one's going to say that Kyle McCord is better than Michael Penix. But if you watch the games, you might say that he looked better against Michigan than Michael Penix did. None of them looked that good. Baby Tua didn't look that good. Not Sean Clifford, but Drew Allard didn't look that good. Jalen Milroe didn't look good. Because they're all confused about what they're seeing. Now, you could, like a game like, and I get back to tie this in, a game like Michigan going against Alabama, you're going to want to blitz Jalen Milroe because he wants to throw it deep. And then you're not even blitzing him all the time. You're just blitzing one more guy. So you're bringing 5. That's not a heavy blitz. You're bringing 5. Or you bring 4, but you bring a corner instead of having all 4 of your linemen rush. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of things you do, and that's the kind of things this scheme does. Wink Martindale has already pretty much said that he's not going to just be blitz happy. He's not going to be Don Brown. So Ohio State fans, y'all might as well calm down and get that Don Brown stuff out of your mind, out of your head. Now, I'm saying this for your sanity. So you don't expect to see the Don Brown. We're about to score 60. Just get it out your head. Them days is over. And Wink isn't he isn't that. He's already said he's not doing that. Because he knows that's the greatest way to make to make a weakness for your defense, especially when you play a team with as much talent as you. Blitzing when you really don't have to, or just blitzing all the time, so now they expect it. You know what I'm saying? It's about confusing and disguising what you're really trying to do. So the quarterback can never get comfortable. If they know you're going to constantly blitz on third down, and they can see, okay, I got the matchup I want. I got Jeremiah Smith on Quentin Johnson or Makari Page, and I can see it. It's obvious. That's the type of stuff Don Brown did, to where it was obvious. I got one of my best players. I got Jeremiah Smith. I got Emeka Ibuka going against Quentin Johnson and Makari Page. I can see it. I just got to get enough time for my quarterback to throw that ball, and we got a touchdown. That's the type of stuff that Don Brown did. Don Brown put his players in horrible positions with the blitz. It was obvious. Everybody knew he was going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. With Don Brown, guys weren't dropping out, and it wasn't disguising pressure. When Don Brown showed blitz, 9 out of 10 times he was blitzing. His scheme wasn't this in depth as a Jesse Minter, Mike McDonald, Wink Martindale, and I say them all because they all come from the same coaching tree. The scheme was built. They were all there when it was built. That's why it's not a change for Michigan. So that's the thing. I don't expect Wink Martindale to blitz a lot unless he just sees, all right, either I have to blitz because we can't get pressure and they're killing us with their pass game and we can't get a pass rush, or he just sees, all right, their offensive line is garbage and we're destroying it with the blitz. similar like to Alabama last year, where we were just destroying it with blitzes, destroying their offensive line with blitzes. You know what I'm saying? And disguised pressure. But the big thing about the defense is disguised pressure. The quarterback never gets comfortable. He never knows what to expect, and he always has to be on his A game. He has to be on his A game almost every time he drops back so he can understand what they're doing. Pre-snap, a quarterback pre-snap going against Michigan, he has to be on his A game because he's not going to know who's coming with all these disguised blitzes and disguised pressures. You don't know who's coming. You don't know who's dropping out. That's the big thing about the defense, and that's what makes it tick, and that's what makes it so successful. Now, you could say, well, in the NFL, I know people are going to go back to, well, it's NFL. Guess what? He ain't in the NFL. He's in college. These dudes ain't Aaron Rodgers. These dudes ain't Patrick Mahomes. These dudes ain't Lamar Jackson. These dudes ain't Dak Prescott. These dudes ain't Matt Stafford. These guys in the college game aren't that. So you can't say, oh, he's coming from the top with the best quarterbacks that are seasoned, coming to college where quarterbacks are still trying to learn the game. A lot of them aren't even making the calls at the line. They're looking to the sideline. Coach, help me. So that's the big thing. So I'm not going to just keep harping on the same thing. You get the point. If you're thinking Don Brown is back, I'm just warning you, get it out your head, because that's not what's gonna happen, and that's not who Wink is. Mainly because he doesn't have to be. He's in college now. It's a whole different playing field, and Michigan is loaded on defense. So that's a big part of it right there too. So that's all I got for this one, y'all. Just wanted to touch on Wink Martindale and his coaching tree a little bit and where he came from. So like, share, subscribe, and as always, go blue.
It's great!